I'm on the old spinnerbait now because I figured the vibration from those blades, copper blades, going through the water might get a strike. But I've no idea of anything what's in here. One of our old stickers there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, beautiful. I remember it well. I've done a bit of this, but wow, that's something else, isn't it?
That's a good fish. Whoa, even through this lens.
Do you like swimming? Do you like swimming with your uncle? I think you want another one. I think he does. So just a quick one this time. It's an exploratory session on what they call a pond here. Middle of winter, all desolate, nice and still. It looks clear. The only reason I'm trying this is purely because I met an angler on the riverbank and he says, oh, they're going to be netting the pike out of here because the pike were a problem or something. Oh, a problem, okay. I thought I'd better come and have a look, see how big a problem they are. They're not a problem to me. But I've no idea of anything what's in here. I think they're going to do stock checks and whatever in probably a few weeks' time, so I figure it's definitely got to be worth throwing a spinner blade or a small lure through there and just see if there is a pike indeed in there. I dare say they're probably only little small jacks of a couple of pounds, but that could be fun. I've just come up with regular gear and we've got my lure box. Those are all too big. I've just got a weedless lure here. I'll probably be trying that one. I'll show you because I don't know what the weed situation is like here. This one is a sidewinder. Put it in the pocket. Just so you look, it's a sidewinder weedless lure. I don't want to go too deep and losing anything because there's a lobster pot boy out there or something, and they must have a rope attached to it, but where? So I don't know what the point of that is. It looks like a piece of wood floating, so I am prepared to lose something. So I'll change these over in a second and just have a throw around, probably a blank. I feel I've got to get in there because once they net, if there are any pike in there, they net them out, they're gone, aren't they? The reason I'm taking the old spinner blade off, it's a single hook barbless, is because I don't want to lose it because it's so good on the river. Well, I've been right around the lake, almost 3/4 of the way around it, nothing, absolutely nothing. Really lovely and clear, but to me it doesn't seem ram full of pike. However, the netting, I guess we'll find out whether there is or not. So I've come down the river, which I knew would be flooded. It looks like it's actually sort of run up over the top here and then gone through the back. Because the last time I came pike fishing up here, that was a lot lower. So I figure it's sort of run through there. You can see the gravel up there that's been moved. No one's been down there, just my footprints. Come back to where I caught pike before. Look at the colour of it, you know, it's nothing like it was. It's not that sort of clear green, I call it a greeny tinge to it when it's good for pike. So I'm pretty well stuffed on this one, little short episode, not even an episode. 50-60 casts, something like that, nothing. I'm on the old spinnerbait now because I figured the vibration from those blades, copper blades, going through the water might get a strike. No, what's your gut feeling, Graham? Just go home. So I'm going to have a few more throws in the next swim and it's off home. So one of the shortest trips ever. I've got to try and find somewhere I can go. I don't know whether to go back to that little creek, tiny little creek, a brook, and have a go for some dace, because in a few days time, if we get no rain, this will probably fish, you know, for chub and stuff like that. But I've not tried that yet, so I don't know where to go, is sort of what I'm doing. I'll wait till the conditions are right, but I'm pretty sure they might be right on that brook. I'm just thinking I might go up and scratch a few dace out. The last time I went there, they were big dace. Let's move on. So this is how I know that the river's dropping, and it's worth looking at. It's not good enough for the pike. The clarity hasn't dropped out of it. The level's dropped out, but the colour's still in it. That's not a bad thing. But here, I'm underneath a big conker tree. Look at the number of leaves here. If I just go here, look, there's a tree. Look how clear this whole area is here. And it fans out like a delta where it's been washed through. And I think the river burst its bank here because I've not seen it in flood, but it must have been the last flood, literally probably a few days ago. And that scoured it because it's washed all the leaves through. And look at this, just so you know, all these conkers have been washed in a heap here. So there must have been quite a flow going down through here, up over the top. And there's a load of sort of foam and that there, where little particles have been washed in there. So if I hold it up high, you can see, look, there's the tree up there. Should be carpeted in leaves, and it's totally scoured through to the gravel here. So that must have really burst its banks and whooshed through there. Same up there. There's a smooth patch up here, look. I find it all interesting stuff. I don't know this river. It's just started coming here. So another place it burst its bank, yes, is there. Here's all the leaves. Last time I walked, that was all covered in leaves. All smooth. It must come up over the bank here, scour through there, push the leaves that way, and puddle up there. There you go. You learned something even if I haven't caught any fish. Just learn where the river breaches its banks. I'm back to breach a cup of tea, I think, and a bit of cake. Well, yes, maybe it was another blank, but the chocolate digestives made up for it. Now, let's get out in the workshop. Well, I've been having a bit of a clear out, guys. There's a huge void in which there is now a table in my workshop. That table was here, and I had a nice big chest freezer there. It was full of fish. It was full of everything. Because I used to do quite a lot of shark fishing, I don't do it now. I don't bother with it now. Might get the odd trip. I do have a craving for it, but I just, obviously with the boat going. So, you have to ask yourself, what is this huge piece of metal there? Is a freezer. Yes, the freezer's going. I'm going to pack all the shark fishing exploits like that up. That's done. But I have over here one of our old stickers there. Still chilled. Some barracudas in there. A load of bait in that one. Loads of bait and cold boxes and stuff in that one. And then they're going in the car, and they're going to a very good cause. Indeed, they are going to Wayne Comben, who is still going to be freezing stuff down. So I've got about an hour or so. He's just going to take it. I'm going to give Wayne the freezer, going to give Wayne the bait. If he uses it as bait, great. If he chops it up, I don't care. It's got to go. I've got to move on. So now I'll see Wayne, have a chat and decide what his future fishing is going to hold. I was freezing bread as well, so the bird's going to get those. I'll get rid of all the stuff. I don't need it, just have to go and buy fresh. I'm not going to be doing shark chumming or anything like that. It's too much work, all that shark chumming. I've got nothing to prove. Had hundreds and hundreds of sharks. So time to move on, I feel. I dare say there'll be the odd day where I might be able to sneak out. Right, let's get the car out. And of course, if you're going to be moving chum around, winter is the time to do it, because the smell might be something different in the summer. Let's hope I don't back over my best fishing rods. Oh, what was that? I purposely put it in the garage. I never put the car in the garage because I thought I don't want rain getting in the motor because that freezer's still working. Oh, shut up, you stupid machine. My downside is I've got the boot lid open, so I'm going to suck all the diesel fumes in there, unfortunately. I might even keep a mask on, to be honest. Come on, Gates. Another thing as well I can have a rant about. For probably 50 years I used to go all up the top of Beacon Hill, all the way through Farnham, all the way through Borden. It's got shocking with traffic now. And Wayne always told me, because he used to work out this way, he said, take the Selborne Road. Now, it's just another Hampshire road, people. But it's just, what it's worth is the stress factor. Will I be getting wound up with people trying to push in, block you, honking on the horn, just stress people wanting to cross the road, stop, start, traffic lights. This way, I've got lovely countryside, bit bendy, bit windy, but I get there, wherever I'm going, Hayden Island generally, and you just feel better. You think, once I hit the A3, whew, I can go flying down with the rest of the world. But this way, I don't have all that hassle and stress, and it's just so nice to come this way. But it's only taken me, Mr. Thicko, 50 years to come the nice way. And it is a nice road. It is a nice road. It's bendy, I like it, hillside, countryside. I'm in the South Downs National Park area, I believe. And of course, when you get further down, you get to what's called, we call it Butser's Hill, where the weather can change. It can be really rubbish over this side, what I call my side of Hampshire, the north side. You go up over Butser's Hill, and you come down the other side going towards Hayling Island, and it can be really nice. It's just the weather changes, and I'm assuming the South Downs holds all that weather system. But today, not a bad day. You'd almost think it was a fishable day. It ain't. Wind, rain coming in, ton of rain tomorrow. I've checked the river out. No, the rivers are out. I don't think you stand up straight on the beach and even cast out with a 10-pound lead. You know, you have to throw it out, I should think. So what better could you ask than to go down and have a chat with Wayne and find out what his plans are with this bait. Plus I'm going to pick some birdseed up peanuts because it's cheaper down here than it is up my way. So we've lumbered the freezer into position. This is... Oh, you've undone it.
Yes, I've undone it. I'm gonna take the lid off.
This is unbelievable. So tell everybody, this is what exactly is in here, Wayne.
All sorts, but mostly...
Oh, licorice. I've caught a shark on licorice.
I think Bertie Bassett would faint if we open this. We might faint if we open it. There's no if, I'm going to try. There's a barrel full up with rainbow trout to about there. And what you do, it was a layer of rainbow trout salt. And literally, instead of, at the time I wasn't putting it through a garden shredder. And trout are quite tough, as you've seen Graeme chopping them up with his axe and what have you. So this way, it just mulches down. And obviously the flesh will rot, but oil lasts forever. We're burning, you know, heating houses, burning vehicles on oil that was dinosaurs, literally millions of years ago. So anyway, the oil doesn't go anywhere, so the oil in here will still be useful. The rottenness doesn't, I don't think that's going to attract anything really.
Yeah.
It's the oil.
It's the oil you want, isn't it? Yeah.
Last time I opened this was about 2 years ago, and there were some guys at least 6 houses down that way. And I literally opened it, and within seconds they were working on ladders doing the guttering, and within seconds I heard them go, "Oh, what's that thing?" So I stuck my head up, and I knew one of them, and he went, "Oh, I thought it'd be something to do with you." Which is nice thought.
This is some of the things that sharkfish will get involved in when you get into shark fishing seriously. I'll take a pace back.
I think it might be wise to do so.
So while Wayne's having a go at that,
I've just moved it a few times, and now it sort of seems to be a bit stuck.
so we got in there a bit of old salty bait which you chop up. I'll take those blue packs. I've got some little chum. Now this is somebody else wants to go say mullet fishing, just as an idea. Well, Wayne's struggling, battling the tub.
Here it comes.
I've got frozen stuff there in a bag, and I put that in there ready to go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, beautiful. I remember it well. I've done a bit of this, but wow, that's something else, isn't it?
It ain't actually that bad.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be, Wayne. It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
You want to drop this soup when it's done?
Not that one, I don't think, no. Well, you'd be able to tell a date. There's a sell-by date on the packet there. Have you got anything to...
I'm not going to move that. I'm not going to move that top layer. I feel that would be folly.
So now, the reason we got the use of the freezer, Wayne, you're going to do what with this now? What
Right, well, as I say, still be perfectly usable. Now I'm going to pick a day soon, in the cold weather, and I'm going to get that freezer you've kindly donated to me up and running. And what I'll do is, wrong way, Wayne, let's get that sealed. Can't sound like it didn't explode on us, but. And what I'll do is I'll ladle it out straight into buckets I've got lids with, add a brown with it,
yeah, quick
mix, and straight into that freezer.
And once it's frozen, isn't it? That's it, done.
Once it's frozen, then we've done it before, Graeme. Listen,
yeah.
We've had sharks on more than one occasion using this exact recipe.
Yeah.
Because I can this thing has took me straight back to a day out on the water, and it's a bizarre smell because occasionally it smells like death and rotten, but then you get the sweet notes with it as well.
It's definitely got a bit of a sweet taste.
Taste,
smell. It's sort of lingers on your clothes.
Rather you than me tasting it, but you can almost taste it when you smell it. But yeah, so that's what it's going to be used for. And out once it's frozen, literally straight into, as we do, buckets or bags.
Just so people know as a tip, Wayne, it's better to use frozen. It lasts longer in your chum bag or your bucket or your whatever you're going to use, doesn't it? It definitely works better frozen. I've
done it from the off. Literally, I froze it, and the first sort of 20 minutes, it takes a little bit of
softening almost.
Yeah, because if it's hard frozen, it tends to just knock a bit off the edges. But once it starts to go, it's perfect, and you've got to still regularly shake the bag or bucket.
Yeah.
But I think it just gives a more even scent trail. And listen, we've proved it's worked, haven't we? We both
Absolutely, yeah.
We've both caught sharks together.
Well,
and
only today, literally on our comments page, a guy from Texas has said, I live in Texas and I want to go shark fishing, this and the other. What tips can you give? Well, you look on the playlist, but I'd say the most important thing shark fishing is this stuff. If you haven't got the chum, you're not going to draw the sharks in. That's sort of the truth of it, isn't it, really, Wayne?
Yeah, of course it is. You said that in the very off, and you're absolutely right. I mean, you could haphazardly hit on a shark. Of course you can.
Yes,
People
just
do.
a single.
Yeah, when they're bottom fishing, often, you know, say quite often, there's enough people out there fishing that someone will accidentally hook a shark on the wrong gear. But yeah, if you're aiming for them, you've got to draw them in. And funny enough, I wrote a little article once saying about the blue sharks when they're swimming with the blue sharks.
Yeah.
Saying someone's going to get bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason I said that was because those blue sharks aren't naturally swimming around a boat. They've had to draw them in with the rubby. And of course then they're looking for the payoff. They're looking for something to eat. And when they don't find it, blues can get very bolshy.
Yeah, remember that film? We actually never got a film, guys might not remember this. I pressed the off instead of the on. Correct. But we had like a 80, 90 pound big blue shark, and it attacked and was biting out of say a 30 pounder, and that's the God's honest truth, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, and he cleaved it in half with one quick bite.
Yeah,
you think,
that was off Falmouth.
Well, you try biting through a shark's skin. I mean, it's tough.
Almost impossible, isn't it? Yeah.
That shark did it instantaneous, and you think, doesn't matter if it's a wetsuit, a thigh.
It's going to go through, yeah.
It's going straight through the bone easily. And don't forget, it wouldn't necessarily do it on purpose to attack it. They haven't got hands.
No, it's just looking for something, food.
So how they investigate. So they've come in. Where's the payoff? Where's the meal? What's that? Yeah. Investigative bite, and that can be enough, especially if they're 10, 15 miles out, you know, somewhere.
And of course, these swimmers that go in, the closer they get to that chum bag, it's the strongest smell, so you're really putting yourself in the sort of kill zone, aren't you? You know, if you're 100 yards away, they're interested, but once they get within a matter of 15, 20 feet, they're really switched into eating something.
You've seen them before now. Here's the boat, say that's the stern. There's the chum bucket, there's the scent trail. These blue sharks will come up, go around it, they'll come, and literally on a 17-foot Wilson, they'll rarely go more than halfway.
Yeah.
And then they know they can't smell nothing, and they're back again.
Yeah.
And then we'll go the other side and the same. They know where it is, and they know where that scent's coming from. See, in their minds, they must think it's something big and dead, and there's a good feed there, a good payoff. When they don't find it, I'm not demonising sharks. I love sharks.
Yeah.
It's just what they do.
It's how they work. It's how they work.
It's just these people saying, you know, oh, they won't bite. It's a bit like saying dingoes don't, you know, take babies. Well, I'm afraid the so-called expert said that many years ago. Oh, yes, they did. And a blue shark, I said, would bite someone. And they have, and then someone else will get bit, and I don't want the sharks being demonised, because that ain't their fault, is it?
No, because we're the humans that are attracting them to us, really, aren't we?
Exactly. It's not the shark's fault.
So we put this in the freezer. Ready, Wayne's going to switch it on after it. Anybody does that freezer moving, don't switch it on for a few hours, so the gas has got to rise or something, hasn't that?
Yeah, I'm not 100% expert on it, but I do know that if you've transported it, yeah, I think the compressor in there is obviously the gas needs to settle before you turn it on. Otherwise you can break it, and I don't want to do that, because then it's just something else I've got to take down the tip. But as it stands,
well, we've seen the barrel of doom, as we call it, and that will probably one day be featured on Wayne's boat. The thresher, hopefully catching a thresher. So I can actually sort of taste it in my mouth. So to rinse it out, I feel we should pop to that place around the corner, Wayne. What do you think?
Let's nip down the air and have a quick beer.
A quick one, just to rinse it out. Do you remember that hot summer we had last year, where you could fry an egg on the underpants that were hung up on the washing line? Lovely. How's the best way to cool off? I think it's this. Well, there comes a time in every dog's life when he has to have swimming lessons. Here, Papa. Let me see. It's very, very hot. He wants to cool off. It amazes me how they put their legs and they get going. Watch. Oh, look at his little legs go. There. Come here. Let me see. Get you cooled off. There you are, cool off. There we go. Now come with your Uncle Graham and we go for swimming lesson. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure you can. That one was cold. This is lovely and warm. Lovely and warm. Just cleaned it out. Let me see. Oh, oh, this is beautiful. It's about 80 degrees. Let's wet him first. There's a good boy. He's being washed. Get all those nasty beetles and bugs. Come here. There he goes. Wait, wait. Wait, here he goes. Point him in the right direction. Come with me. Come on. Come on. Swim. A good boy. Look at him go. Way! His legs are still going. His legs are still going. He's still going. One more. Cool you off. There you go. Good boy. Come on. Look at him swim. Look at him swim. Good boy. He's going to go crazy when he gets out. Oh, great. Good boy. He's gone mad. Where's he going? Bring the dog back. I can't catch him. Don't tell me he's going to roll all the dirty leaves. Here he comes. There go the legs. Good boy. This way. Good boy. Good swimming, Pat. Jack's a good boy. Look at him go. Good boy. Good. He's off again. Good doggy. Go on. He's gonna go mad. Do you want another swim? Do you like swimming? Do you like swimming with your uncle? I think you want another one. I think he does. Colin's up there because he's seen that food. Yeah, come here, Bubba. Let me see. We'll see if we can get some underwater footage of the doggy paddle. He loves it. Mike's going to be taking him in the rivers now, I can see that. He's going to be taking for a bit of swimming. Wait a minute. Here comes doggy paddle underwater. Here he comes. Ready? Go! For the world record dog. Look at this seriousness in the face. Absolutely serious. Slowly. He's away. I've got you. Go. Look at it. Go. Oh my God. So in complete contrast to that dry weather, the drought, 6 months later, this is happening. Unbelievable. This is about, I can't tell you, 2 inches deep. It's just a ditch around that local housing estate, and it is as high as I've ever seen it there, flooding. So 6 months ago, nobody even used the bridge. You just walked from here across to there. If it was 3 inches deep, it was deep. The dogs used to play in it. Now it looks like it's about to carry the bridge away. Look at this. And this is a ditch. A ditch. It's not a main river. It's gone through here. It's even, I can't say it's burst its banks. There were no banks. It's split off down the sides here. So you think that's bad? I'm going to check out another river. I don't even know if I can get down there, but it's worth looking at. And as I say, that's just 6 months later. It shows the extremes of weather we're getting. So we've just been told by people driving down the road, coming the other way, said you won't get through here because it's so flooded. And you can see the actual ditches there have burst the bank. So I just go down as far as I can, but they got four-wheel drive and they said I won't get through. What's nice to see just there, got the first of the snowdrops coming out. As they normally come out in February, so it's always nice to see that. Give you a bit of hope for the spring and better weather. Again, just here is a little stream, and you can see that's right up. But the ones you have to watch are these ditches over here, like this, because they're just drainage ditches, and when they cross the road, you can get really flooded. It's levelling out up there, so I'm figuring that's probably as far as we're going to get. And you can see it's all flooded there, but it's going across the road, so we won't be going through there, and it's covering a bridge over here. I'm in the water now, and there's Mr. Swan. The bridge is totally gone, the fields are gone. And the problem is when I get back, I'll show you my house. I've got the water coming up to and touching the house, and that's why I'm going to get that pump out again. No fishing for me. So the storm has absolutely blasted the old cover on the boat, but my concern is not the boat, because that floats. It's this. It's actually my marina for the boat there, and that's literally where I had it. But when it comes up like this is backing up a groundwater all the way here. And what happened, it's going to get to the house, and then it might actually get over the brickwork there. So that's, I've got to try and pump some of this out. I've got the ultimate rodent control device here. As you can see, it doesn't kill them by a trap, it actually drowns them. That's a new type, so if it's dry it gets them, and if it's full of water it drowns them. Double sweet, but not for the rats. Right, let's get started. I'm no more than 3 feet from the house. And wait for this, people, I live on top of a hill, so that's groundwater that's come up. Well, I've got the wire plugged in. Don't think I'm going to use the old waders. But you can see here that the water isn't a million miles away from the boat. The only thing with this is it does kink. You have to have it absolutely perfectly straight, so hopefully I can run it on these pipes balanced there. The deepest part of this little pond is there. I just hope I've got enough to prime it. Let's see what happens. Strange things happen at sea. That's on, just check it. Yep, let's see if we get any life out of this old boy. See, look, like there, I don't need any kinks in it whatsoever. Gently place in the water. Right, we've actually round this side, I think, got it primed. Or have I? Got all the kinks out. Pressure's there, pressure's there. Here we go. There's a short section of pipe, and I can get it up on the top of the hump, and it'll run that way. As you can see, it's coming out big time. Well, I've marked it with a stone, and in 5 minutes it's gone down. So there's the edge of the water. Wow, that's a lot of water. So I'm going to put a piece of flint. Where's the edge? About there. Now, that's the edge of the water there. It just shows you we'll come back after a cup of tea and an hour and see if we've saved the house. Otherwise, I'm going to be stocking the inside of my office with trout. Let's check there's no kinks in that before I go inside. Well, a bit of a kink there. That is the downside of this piping. All the old sharking stuff, all the old sharking bins, it won't be happening with my boat anymore. There's another kink I've put back up in there, lovely. Do not want to get it messed up. Chum tube. I saw somebody else copied that. I think it was down the West Country. Copied the old chum tube. Well, I can hear it all running, so it all's pretty straight. I think all the piping is going to gurgle away. It is what it is. We'll come back and check on the two stones, one there, one here. Probably have to check on the electric meter as well. We're having an hour, so it looks like we've saved the house. There's a stone. I've got it well away from the wall of the house. I can sort of count that there, can't I, there? Got it way back up here from the big stone. That's about an hour and a bit, hour and a quarter with the pump going. We'll move that down there. But this volume here, the shallow end drops quite quickly, but it gets deeper in there, so that's going to take longer, probably another hour before I get it actually inside the actual pond itself. Weather's coming again. It's absolutely appalling. Grey clouds scudding across. It's just not stopped. I fear there's more coming. You can just see the float still working, the actual float switch down there. That's what it's for. And then when that flops down, because there's dropping water, it will switch itself off. A handy tool to have. Right, for those of you who remember the last film I put up, it was way back in the summer during a heat wave where myself and the wife cleared this pond out. And somebody said, oh, you didn't fill the pond up. Well, it's full up now. Look, right up to the edge of the slabs. And the reason being, it's not just the rainfall, it is the groundwater produces a big bubble in the, it actually floats, if I can describe it, the liner off the ground there. I'll just show you around the back here. This is not a runoff from the pond, it's actually groundwater soaking up through the fall of the ground, which comes from the right there, left to right. With Mike, some years ago, we redug a ditch out here to help drain the property because we knew there was a slope on it. But we've had so much rain, as you can see, the ditch has actually overflowed or backed up. And look at the pond, the other pond I've got, the deeper pond where I store the lilies, that is just Blitz City. Poor old Dougie the builder there, our scarecrow, he's going to have to go paddling soon. It's filled up. The only place we've got that's really dry, and not many people have got one of these, a miniature Saxon house built by myself and Mike for his daughter Eve. And in here, a little bit of damp inside, but basically the whole thing is dry. Look, all the thatch, all the rain we've had, just birds pulling at it there to make a nest. Birds pulling at it, the inside is totally dry. So, there you go. Old school works again. It's on Mike's TA Outdoor site if you want to see Saxon builds of old buildings and what a view there is. Not many people have got a Saxon house in miniature in their garden. And talking of gardens, oh my God, this was the year of the leaves. The biggest amount of leaves in one of my old ponds. I filled it up and you can see, wow, that is, oh go on Graham, do leaf it out mate. That's a lot of leaves, a lot of raking for me and the wife. The tackle shack has survived these storms. I actually refelted a portion of the roof which was ripped off. I got one front piece there to nail up, but the roof stayed intact, so I was pleased that held up. I'm going to have to use that again at some stage and do a bit of tackle stuff in there. This is what I'm interested in, the worm cast, because the ground is now soft. There are plenty of worms coming back. They will pull down the remaining leaves, make it better for cutting, but more important, it gives me the tip. Oh, Graham, when that river drops down, is the time to go worm fishing. Colin was out there, he's scouring the grounds to see if we've got anything left over. I've put the grill on there to stop the granddaughter falling in there. And the water is the highest I think I've ever seen. It's over what we call the stop. And it's right up against almost the brick of the house, I guess. Leftover stuff we leave out on the raptor table. That's why Colin's circling overhead. He's waiting to come down and see what Uncle Graham's got in for din-dins tonight. It's a bit of leftover quiche, the nasty pastry bits that most kids and youngsters don't like chewing. Well, one thing he won't take the same as me, that's right, Brussels sprouts. Just got to wait for it to come down. Another project I've got to do, this was a walkway done with regular decking. I nearly broke my neck on it, both feet in the air. I was flying when it got wet once. So it's 15 years old, just starting to rot out, but the joists are okay, and I spaced it 20 inches apart there. The actual joist came out the inside of our house when we had it extended, leave the liner, and that's going to run down. I'm going to fill it with concrete, make it safe, won't trip over. Plenty of cars in the drive when I came back. It looks like somebody else has come to tea. I hope they leave their chocolate digestives. Well, something a bit different in there. Don't forget to watch the next show. Sooner or later, I'm going to put a fishing one up. When the weather's bad and everything's slow on YouTube, I can't be bothered. I'm going to sit down and make a few more of these. I think they're a bit of fun. And it's something a bit different. Hey, it's life. See you in the next show.